Hi everyone, let's do a fantasy check-in on the Chicago Bulls. It's hard to get a full grasp of the Bulls, obviously missing three consistent rotation players, Chris Dunn, Lauri Markkanen and Bobby Portis for the majority of the season. Hard to get a full grasp on that, but those guys all seem like they are primed for a return in the next week or two. All three of those players should be back. I'd expect that Dunn and Portis, both coming off knee injuries, will come back on pretty restrictive minutes caps. Markkanen a little bit as he gets his conditioning back, but he won't take as long to get back to those minutes. Over the last couple of weeks, Justin Holiday has been thriving, a top 30 player in that time. I don't think that's going to be able to stick. In fact, I think when everyone returns, we'll see Holiday drop down to maybe outside the top 100. Still probably a 12-team league guy. He's hitting a ton of threes and getting a lot of steals, but he's doing it in 35 minutes per game, and he's shooting it well above career numbers. So I do expect that to drop off for Justin Holiday. I also think Jabari Parker, who's been a top 40 player these last 2 weeks, won't be able to keep that up when Markkanen and Portis return. That's going to shift minutes from Parker, who was getting 37-38 as a starting power forward. It's going to take a lot of those minutes away there, and it's going to either force him into playing the small forward role, which could impact Justin Holiday, or just not have him playing at all, which could really, obviously drop his numbers off pretty considerably. Wendell Carter Jr., also a significant buy low player in my opinion. He's struggling at the moment with foul trouble, averaging just 23 minutes a game over his last 7, but he is still a top 140 player in that time, and when those minutes come back up to 30, which once he learns to stay out of foul trouble, they will, then the numbers will rise back to being a top 100 or top 90 player. Well, Ryan Archer-Jacquinot, as long as Chris Dunn is out, Archer-Jacquinot has this assists and steals streaming type value, but then after that he goes back to being a 20-team-like player as the predominant backup point guard in Chicago. Just a quick mention on Zach LaVine as well, whose shooting has cooled off after a red-hot start. He's shooting just 41% over the last 6 games, including 22% from 3. Still scoring well because his usage is through the roof, but Dunn, Markkanen, and Portis, they are all going to impact LaVine's usage, not by huge amounts, but a 2 or 3 percentage point drops not unfathomable. And then with the lack of defensive numbers, the lack of efficiency, it could really impact his numbers. He's currently the 89th ranked player over the last 2 weeks, and I imagine that could be where he sits when all those other players return.